Berghaus Extrem collection is rooted within mountaineering folklore. Introduced in 1986, it's been used by the likes of Chris Bonington, Mick Fowler and Alan Hinks, and more recently the likes of Leo Holding and Anna Taylor. Since its introduction, it's continued to evolve and adapt around new technologies and fabrics, so that it remains relevant to a modern day audience. To find out more about the latest Extrem collection, we're going to speak to Grim, who is the technical product lead, which basically means he knows a lot of stuff about stuff.
Extrem came from the early days of Berghaus, really, when the original founders, Gordon and Peter, were looking to diversify their range and bring in new technologies and new products to market, aimed back again at that higher level of consumer, whether that's an athlete or someone in the mountains, whether for expeditions or weekend use. The one key thing we wanted to do with Extrem this time was make it available to as many people as possible. So what we've done with Extrem for Winter 22 is we've got complete parity. So if you've got a male jacket, you've got an exact female opposite piece to sit with it. Same price points, same feature sets, they're just designed and built around the female need. The evolution that Extrem goes through over the years that it's been around depends on the consumer and the activities that they're doing, which have always kind of been the same, but technology always helps move that on. So it's always a great opportunity to refresh the range or relaunch the range in some way, if you want to look at it like that, with the latest modern technology.
So Grim, here we've got the Seeker jacket. Where does this sit in the range exactly?
So this would be our entry gore jacket in Extrem. I use entry in a fairly loose term there.
Because by entry in Extrem, you mean it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, our aim is to make sure that everything we do in Extrem, you could class as like best in class if we want to look at it that way. But we're also very mindful that a lot of people just want a really good, on-proof, simple mountain jacket. So, for example, on this, the Seeker, we're using Gore 3-layer performance shell. We're not using Pro Shell. That helps us achieve, a great price point, but with a really good waterproof, durable fabric still.
And a slightly softer feel as well. They're nicer to wear, I think, aren't they?
They are, and you can have a poly face or a nylon face. We've gone with a nylon face in it because, again, it just gives a little bit more durability. But in terms of feature set, it's fundamentally what you need for the mountains. We've got a helmet compatible hood, we put pit zips on it, two nice high chest pocket, two hand pockets, and then a single simple chest pocket as well. It really is everything you need, and there's nothing on there that you don't need. That's the most important thing. It feels tough, it feels durable, but it feels like it's going to do exactly what you want it to do in sort of lots of different surroundings as well, different situations. And
so for people who want to crank the dial up, we've got the option of the guide jacket.
So with the guide here, we allow a little bit more freedom and a little bit more fun with it, but it allows us to add extra details. Price isn't as much of a concern, but we know that consumers and the shopper are looking for stuff that's got all the added extras on it. So we step up to a Pro Shell fabric here. We've got Pro Shell stretch throughout the shoulders and across the back, so you've got a lot of extra movement built into it. We extend some of the sort of hit points a little bit, some of the reflective detail, and then on the inside we've got a couple of stash pockets, which are great for just putting your hats and gloves in, and we've also got an insulated pocket for putting electrics in as well, so keep your battery a bit warmer on your phone, for example. So yeah, we just dial it up that little bit more. You get extra chest pockets, etc. And
I guess this is, it's called the guide, obviously could be used by guides, but really I guess anyone for like that absolute all-consuming testing mountaineering environment where you're just expecting to receive a battering.
Yeah, just everything about this says that it's your kind of go-to, all-weather, whatever gets thrown at it, it's going to stand and perform.
So the Hyper came out a few years ago as a sub 100 gram 3-layer waterproof. Now, that's pretty rowdy. But I don't think it's as rowdy as this. This is really rowdy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is the Hyper Alpha. So we've body mapped it and bonded it into place on the garment. So it's a fixed lightweight insulation. So you're still getting that incredible breathability and waterproofness that you get on the Hyper Alpha, on the Hyper jacket. But with the Alpha edition, you now get that additional layer of insulation built into it as well.
So where do you see this being used and who by?
It's not mega cold weather use this, but I think, if you're very active, even at really cold conditions, say you were skinning up into something, or you were walking in, you were doing some very cold weather alpine stuff, but you were moving a lot, this would still work with a great base layer underneath. But again, moving into lighter weight, if you're cragging in the Lake District, you know, year round, this is actually going to be a really nice lightweight layer to wear.
I think the thing that I really liked about this, I mean, this is outright innovation. It's seriously cool, seriously tech. But the thing is that it wouldn't be possible if the jacket weren't as breathable. If you were to put that in a less breathable jacket, it would be an absolute sweat fest. But within this, it works.
Yeah, just the two sort of worlds conspired to come together really with it, and we've got the opportunity to do it. So a really exciting little product just to add into the Extrem sort of collection and experience.
So Grim, we've got the red synthetic hoodie just here, which is a reversible insulated piece. How does that work?
Well, it's quite simple. You just unzip it and turn it around. No, sorry. Yeah, I mean, look, it's synthetic this, so we've got down jackets in our range, but we also want to have a synthetic range. This works as a great layering piece because it's only a lightweight insulation on the inside, sheet insulation. But the great thing is we've got two different fabrics, your lining and your face fabric. We've got face fabric here that's, for all intents and purposes, windproof, and then a lining fabric that's got more breathability to it. So when you've got it with the windproof layer on the outside, your body weight, your body insulation and the heat traps on that insulation on the inside, keeps you nice and warm. But if you're moving fast and you want to dump a bit of air and you don't need as much insulation, but you still want a wind layer, if you put it the opposite way around, effectively the wind will take the insulation and will blow through the insulation and remove it.
So it's almost like you're just wearing a windproof.
Yeah, exactly. It effectively just turns into a wind shirt. So it's a wind shirt or a lightweight insulation.
That's something that sounds so simple and so subtle, but how much difference does it make in practice?
Constructional wise, to make it, it's a fairly easy thing to do in some respects, but actually when you're out on the hill and you use it, it really is noticeable. And if you get the right conditions on the right day, you can feel the difference between them being the opposite way around.
So good jacket for the cooler conditions we're getting into autumn and winter.
Yeah, it'll work as a perfect layering piece through autumn, winter, or in the spring, summer if you were rock climbing in the UK or some alpine climbing. It's absolutely probably, for me, it's the bedrock of any of the insulation we've got within our Extrem range. Every product has got to have a reason and it's got to have a need. Everything has a purpose and has an end use. Some of it's a little bit more premium than other parts, and some of it's a little bit more niche, but it absolutely delivers a job for us as what we need.